Are there any Māori on that?
Kaore anō kia eke tete Māori ki tērā puari, engari kei te ngana au kia Nicola.
So how can we expect that board to care about kura kaupapa Māori or Māori schools if there are no Māori on that board?
Because we will require them to care about that.
So we're here at the Iwi Chairs, ne? And the dynamic part about this hui is the whānau are going to say, ask their own pātai. So mihi ana kia koutou, kia kōrua whakakanohi nei ai tō kōrua pāti. Ina rā hoki ko kōrua te kāwanatanga o te wā. I got in trouble yesterday because I didn't do the kōwei koutou and era mea katoa. So give us the little spiel if you can, the start of our day.
Bit of an
and then we'll get
introduction.
into it.
Well, kia ora koutou katoa, greetings and hello everyone. Thank you for having us today. Can I acknowledge our hosts, Ngāi Tahu, in this beautiful jewel of our country, and acknowledge the huge contribution that they make to the South Island and acknowledge their land and history here. And can I acknowledge all of the iwi leaders here, some of whom I have met with, some of whom I have debated with, and many of whom are making huge advances for our country. We are a country with massive challenges but massive opportunities, and it's my view that when the government works well with Māori, when we honour our settlements, when we move forward together, much can be achieved.
He tāpirihanga au?
E mihi ana kia koutou o Ngāi Tahu, tū te raki whānoa, tai atu kia rākai hautu, kia raki hauia, ka tiri o te moana, wai whakatupu wai Māori, me tēnei wāhi haumoko motuake. Justin whakakanohi nei te mana whakahaere o te runanga, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa. Tama Potaka, married to Ariana, 3 tamariki rangatahi up in Waikato, on probation from Waikato Tainui, and now the MP for Hamilton West, but from Mokai Pātia, Taranaki, Wanganui, and the cool part of the country.
And has a plethora of Master Ugwe quotes.
Good weather, bad weather, it's just weather. Especially those trying to get back home today. Just weather.
My first question, you've handed out these flyer, and is this what you have done, what you're going to do?
No, that is what has been done with iwi and Māori and the government working together on a mahi-tahi basis, whether or not it's in the housing, infrastructure, fast-track, regional infrastructure fund, or indeed the most money of any government that's been invested into marae over the last 3 years in history, the most ever.
Tuku said it's konga konga. He konga konga noi hoi nei.
E konga konga. Yeah, well, it's really fantastic to work with Tuku to put $35 million into Hopu Hopu to build those houses that we promised in 2009 when I worked for Tainui.
Yeah.
Ireira koe.
Kia ora. We had another one of our iwi cheers from another little island over here. I mahua ia koutou, a rekohu, wharekauri.
Well, kōrero ka tau te kōrero ki reira. A te akuata.
Cool. We are...
I think they're their own independent state too out there.
Kia ora.
Ahoy no, the Iwi Chairs have been here for a number of days meeting, and there is a strong consensus that you have failed, Māori and Iwi, as a government. What is your response to that?
We're not there yet. We're on a journey, and we need to keep going and keep getting better. And when I think about what that relationship has looked like these past 3 years, I'm very alive to the fact that we had a very difficult start with you. I know that the Treaty Principles Bill created much pain, much suffering, and that affected the trust in our relationship. So I'm upfront about that. But I also know that some things remain incredibly important to the National Party. We are so proud of our history of achieving treaty settlements, of acknowledging the huge wrongs that the Crown has done to iwi in the past, of putting those settlements in place and in honouring them. We are proud of our belief that iwi and communities deserve more power over their own resources, and we have made steps in that, over $500 million of co-investment with iwi in housing, ensuring that the community commissioning work that my social investment agency is doing is very much looking to the whānau ora model and other models for how we devolve resources to communities to care for the vulnerable among them. And I look at some of the things that we've done that you might not have expected, but they are there, one of the biggest investments ever into Matatini, an investment that we made in our first budget, ensuring that we continue to invest in Māori language revitalisation, continuing to support, as Tama says, marae. And I hear you, I understand. I know that talk on te reo and the way that has been managed in our government has created debate among us, but the truth remains that Tama is leading the rolling out of that strategy, more money for Māori broadcasting. And our plan for the future is to build on this based on the belief that we can achieve more together than we can fighting with each other, and that there is more progress to be made, that when we grow things together, when we deliver for our communities together, that is good for all of us.
I do want to acknowledge there was a significant contributor to Te Matatini and locked in as well for a long time, so ka pai tērā. But when you're talking about te reo Māori and how like there's te ahu o te reo gone, te tongohanga o te reo Māori ngā puka puka era mea katoa, there's all of these little things that say actually there is no aroha to te reo Māori. So
English
now when you
becoming an official language.
Yeah, tērā anō hoki. So what is the plan with te reo Māori and te ao Māori to increase, like we can see the developments are great, yeah, but how about, I mean, you raised te reo Māori, so what's the plan for te reo Māori?
I think the first thing to acknowledge, and just to echo Nicola's comments, is National wants to work with iwi and Māori organisations to build the future together. That's what we want to do. We've done some good things around housing. We've done some good things around regional infrastructure development, but there's a lot more to do. And actually, there have been some hapa along the way. And we've made mistakes. You only have to read my Facebook posts and all the comments to know that, and all the letters that I keep on getting from Tuku. So there's a lot more to do. We haven't got it all right, and I am genuinely concerned about the way that language in the whare and across politics is actually treated. I don't like it because I grew up in the whakatupuranga kaupapa. I grew up in the te roi kaupapa, and te reo Māori is a fundamental part of the country's DNA. Look at that kaupapa around kaitiakitanga being the most beautiful word in the world. That is absolutely phenomenal. And so Nicola and I very focused on making sure we get support to the right places. We do know with the 4 Māori language entities, there could be more of a shared waka. And that's what we've been trying to encourage. Have a shared outcomes framework. We think with that, people on the same waka, just amongst our Māori language entities, it will go faster and further. But there have been some real hits in different ways against te reo, and we need to do better on that.
Can I say where I think language revitalisation has come from and will come from is mokopuna, and kōhanga reo, kura kaupapa, absolutely critical to the future of the language.
Kia ora.
And we have developed resources for them, and we want to work with them. We have always believed that actually getting a child in an educational environment that they engage with and connect to and feel part of will help them with their language, but actually their entire sense of identity.
And what is your commitment?
So, we kei konei tata, we're here at the Iwi Chairs, ne? And the dynamic part about this hui is the whānau are going to say, ask their own pātai. Nō reira. Here we go.
Mākere.
Oh, anei te rangata. Oh, karawhiua. Tuarua.
For our kura kaupapa Māori and our Māori immersion, where is the budget for them to be brought up to the standard that Pākehā schools have?
Well, I think, I'll make a couple of comments and then maybe the Minister of Finance can come over the top. First thing is that there have been some kura where they've been scheduled basically for replacement of their kura. For example, out at Ngā Mokopuna, a lot of money has been committed to that particular kura, and also I understand there's an announcement shortly on advisory at Pāroa out in Whakatane, but there's still a long way to go on that in terms of the support. Nicola?
Yeah, look, there is no doubt across the country we have schools that are old, classrooms that aren't up to scratch. So we as a government have put in place a new school property agency, which we've required to have a 20-year plan for how it will not only build the new kura that we will need with a growing population, but also to rebuild and redevelop the schools that need it. So I fully acknowledge there are kura that require that investment. We are putting together a 20-year plan for how that investment...
He Māori kei runga i te rapuari?
Are there Māori?
Are there any Māori on that?
Kaore anō kia eke te Māori ki te rapuari, engari kei te ngana au kia Nicola.
So how can we expect that board to care about kura kaupapa Māori or Māori schools if there are no Māori on that board?
Because we will require them to care about that, and we will expect them to engage with you on it.
Do you think there should be a Māori, at least one Māori on that board though? And why isn't there?
Look,
Because you've said you've committed to working with Māori,
that's right.
and so education is a critical part, right?
Yes.
In terms of
And
our
why should
nation's priorities.
I think the answer from me, Kiriama, is yes. There should be someone who has an in-depth understanding of kura, wharekura and other Māori immersion schools on that board and actually within the operations to drive it harder.
So that's going to change over the next
Well,
week?
that's something that I'll be taking up. No, that's something that I'll
Heard it
take
here
up
first.
with the Minister.
Nicola.
Minister Willis, just yesterday we debated our concerns around treaty settlements. And at the heart of our concern is a endless assault on those settlements that have been agreed upon, especially when you have a generic treaty clause. And all of us know that every settlement is different. They're bespoke. They're unique to each iwi. And the problem with the generic clause is that it doesn't cover everything. And as a result of that, and I take the RMA for an example, is that right now settlements been breached by your government. And we have for some time talked with Bishop. The problem that we have, Minister Willis, is this. We get agreement, then there's a backslide. Because suddenly there's a conversation with fed farmers, and bang, there's hysteria. More than that, you got an associate minister from the ACT Party, Minister Court, who has a social page condemning us. He's the associate minister sitting alongside Bishop in the same circle as you people, and clearly there has been huge concern. We're deeply concerned here because actually some of us have developments as well, but we've been screwed, literally. And so here's the problem that we have. Generic treaty clauses do not work because they don't recognise the bespoke nature of treaty settlements around the country. What we have is quite different to Te Tairāwhiti, to Kaitahu and other iwi across this country. They are bespoke. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that you have a extremist right-wing party called the ACT Party, who's killing us. Every meaningful law policy, if you scratch the surface, there's an ACT hand somewhere involved in the machinations of that which is coming out of your government.
Pātai.
So answer the question. We want this sort of behaviour to stop. Bespoke treaty clauses do not work. More than that, we need honesty. When your predecessor was alive, Bulger and others, what they said meant something. Their word meant something. Their word was their bond. Some of you people, it doesn't mean nothing. So I'd like you to respond to the concerns, please.
Pātai tuatahi, the first one was generic
Bespoke.
treaty clauses.
and settlements.
Well, like all
Or
of the
legislation.
leaders in this room, I have a great sense of responsibility for the footsteps that I walk in as the Deputy Leader of the National Party and the people who came before me in the National Party, who not only signed those settlements but worked very hard to achieve them, and for whom there is much honour within our party of the need to uphold them on behalf of those leaders, our values and the promise contained in them. So I can only say to you honestly that upholding treaty settlements is a core value for the National Party and one that is a touchstone for us whenever we are developing policy or legislation. I acknowledge that the ACT Party sometimes takes a different perspective. I am not going to speak for them today. I have many responsibilities in areas of difficulty, but that is one area that I'm not going to take on today. In terms of the RMA, I'm going to hand to you. In terms of the RMA, look, I know that you and Minister Bishop have a very strong relationship, that you have been debating these issues now for many years and months, and I think that there is a good understanding of the different perspectives on these issues. Our belief is that for the treaty settlements to be upheld, some of that requires specific undertakings, and you've seen that under Tama's watch, TPK are now monitoring each of those undertakings that have been made. There's more than 12,000 of them across the agreements to date, monitoring how they're being upheld. But then legislation needs to ensure that those are carried over into the new law. So that is the intention. But Tama?
Yeah, I think in terms of the proposals that have been brought up, whether or not it's the RMA or DOC or others, some things we've got wrong. We have got wrong, and on the DOC matter, the Conservation Act, I've done a ministerial moonwalk on the disposal provisions, even though I thought that would be useful for iwi who have pā, nurupā and wāhi tapu throughout the DOC estate to make it easier for those to move. So we do get things wrong, but we front up kanohi ki te kanohi, rai ki te rai, to hear and talk with people, as I've done with you, e te rangatira, Tuku. Just on TPK, fantastic new CEO. Kia ora.
There was a time where National championed treaty settlements, even when it was unpopular, because it was the right thing to do. It feels that the leadership within National has had rings run round them by these coalition partners. My question to you is, can we expect a return to strong principled leadership to do what's right, even when we don't agree with each other? There's always going to be things to have a scrap about. There's always going to be things that we can agree to. But in the past, I think, to Tuku's earlier point, there was principled leadership where leaders' words meant something. Can we expect to see that leadership from the National Party on the other side of this election?
Yes, and in relation to treaty settlements, we think Minister Goldsmith has gone all out to try and resolve some of the outstanding ones. That has happened. Not only that, we have actually returned land outside of treaty settlements, and we've progressed a range of the outstanding ones. Now, there are some challenges in that too, but Minister Goldsmith has progressed the treaty settlements in line with the legacy of the National Party. Now, separately, in terms of implementation of settlement obligations, that's actually gone up from about 75% to about 85%. But in terms of the treaty responsibilities that might sit independently of the settlements, we've got a lot of work to do. So that's a different set of dynamics that we have to work on, and we have to work on harder around that.
I mua I tā tātou haere ki a koe matua. Oh, you go.
Kia ora tātou. Thank you, Shane.
Okay, go.
Mr. Fast Track himself.
Couple of things. You picked the poor partner, you need to blow ACT up, because that's where they belong. First and foremost, we've got a lot of iwi that aren't settled. What can you say to give them confidence? We've already heard from Tuku on existing settlements that we aren't happy with and how bespoke they are to each iwi. So how can you give confidence to the iwi that haven't settled? So what's your position? What's the National Party's position?
I'll talk to the settlements matter,
Kia ora,
and
thank
then the Minister of Finance will talk to that other matter. Over the last 3 years, there have been a number of settlements that have been progressed to legislation, and some of that work acknowledged all the ministers in the past, Andrew Little and Minister Finlayson and others who have done a lot of the grunt work to get there. But if it's Te Koroirangi, Wainuiarua, Ngāti Haua, there's movement on Ngāti Ruapani and others, but there are still some outstanding, and actually there's still 5 big historical claims in the tribunal that are outstanding. And our expectation is that as a government and as a cabinet, we keep pushing that, but don't just push it to say, that's it, it's all over, let's all go and be good, Kiwis, but actually make sure we implement the obligations in the settlement and we deal with these other matters that are extant of settlements, they're different to them, but they have treaty responsibilities that go with them. So there's a variety of things. We might not be going as fast or as furious as we all want to, but we are deliberate on that. There are some issues, even in the last couple of days, I've heard some from our whanaunga in the mid-north about how we aren't dealing with some issues around treaty settlements.
We think it's necessary to keep ploughing forward to make sure that we are reaching settlement with iwi. We haven't reached settlement, but equally, We must not be so looking in the rearview mirror that we're not looking for opportunities to make progress in the here and now, even where there aren't settlements. And those opportunities are pretty broad. I think about what we are starting to achieve when we work much more closely with iwi on the delivery of health services, everything from immunising children through to doing better prevention campaigns. I think of what's possible in terms of social investment and allowing iwi organisations and Māori-backed organisations to better allocate resources in their rohi. Because frankly, 7 different government agencies on the terrace deciding what's best for a region will not be as powerful as iwi on the ground. To your question about partnering with global finance, you and I need to talk because I want to see that happening.
Kia tūpapa.
To me, that is a golden opportunity where you have iwi on the ground with development aspirations, and what's missing is some capital, and where overseas capital wants to come to the party and help, well, I say we should roll out the red carpet, because if it's going to create Kiwi jobs and opportunities, that is a good thing. So if there are barriers in the way, let's talk about removing them.
Just a couple of quick ones, just following up the treaty settlements. There are some matters that didn't work out. For example, Woodburn, the airport down in Blenheim, it didn't work out because the PFAS was underneath that airport. So we had to come to another arrangement and we sorted it. And there are some things, as I said, that's the treaty over here, but we've got to deal with this over here. The Nelson 10th is probably the best recent example of that with Matuarore and others from Te Tauihu. Kaitai Airport's another one. Yeah. Just hanging and waiting for an aeroplane to come and help people medvac from the far north. We've got a little bit of action, but we need to do more. Finally, there are places like Te Mimia Pekehoa, there are places like these other pā and wāhi tapu sites that are somehow in a reserve that's looked after by a council, and nothing's going on, no pūtea. So, in my view, and the work that we've been doing around Māori Crown Relations and DOC, we need to intersect that and say, who's best to look after these places? Is it the council or DOC that never go out there? Or is it the whānau that live around the corner?
Bayden Barber.
Kia ora tātou, Bayden Barber, Ngāti Kahungunu Iwi Chair. You mentioned the Minister of Justice, Minister Goldsmith. You would have seen the mobilisation of Te Iwi Māori when we marched against the Treaty Principles Bill, and tēnā koutou for not allowing that to go through. However, the Minister is looking to either remove, seriously weaken, or amend treaty principles, clauses and references within 26 pieces of legislation. Legislation that impact your work and your relationship with us as Māori. So my question to you is, why should iwi Māori support the National Party, the party which is responsible for trying to delete the Treaty of Waitangi within your work? Kia ora.
Well, first of all, we cremated the Treaty Principles Bill and we will not allow it to be exhumed. So that is a very clear position for us. In terms of the way that treaty clauses have been dealt with in legislation, the reality is that the wording of those clauses, the interpretation of those clauses, the way they've been applied in practice has been all over the show. And it hasn't actually always led to better relations between iwi and the Crown, because there has been a lack of understanding from the Crown about what is expected through those clauses. So Minister Goldsmith's exercise is about being very clear about what do we mean and what does this commitment involve and how do we effect that in practice. So he is coming at it with that good faith objective. In terms of why Māori should support the National Party, I'm realistic. I don't think that this is the room I'm going to get the most votes of any of the rooms I'm going to be in the next few months. But I am. But regardless, it's not about the votes. It's actually about our country and who we are. And who we are is a country that was founded by Māori, who came here first and who then chose to work with those who came after to say, let's build a great country together. And that is an enormous promise that we have. That is contained in a founding document, Te Tiriti o Waitangi, which no other nation in the world has. And it contains a promise about if we preserve and work together, what we can achieve for the generations that follow. And yes, the wind of politics has gone up and down. But in Nationals history, is a recognition of the importance of the treaty, the initiation of the settlement process, the upholding of those settlements, and a belief philosophically at our very core the government does not know the answer to every problem. That actually when we devolve power and resource to community and iwi, we will often get better results. And a belief in private enterprise and what we can grow with you together.
Thank you.
We've got 3 minutes. E te whānau. me ko te tātou. Nō reira, I really want to just reiterate what people have said. E mihi ana kia kōrua, kua hara mai nei. Kōrero whakamutunga. Any last words? You got a minute, e hoa?
What's important is that you hold us accountable for the promises that we've made, the oaths that we've kept, and the obligations that we have, not just under the treaty, but a whole range of other documents, whether or not it's the fencing agreement or other things. Those are very, very important. We recognise that the success of this country is massively tied into the success of the Māori economy, communities, culture, and the environment. And that's why we want to continue working with you and other Māori organisations actually to build the future and to get things going. That's why we're here. That's why we turn up face to face at Aiki Te Rai.
I'm optimistic for our country. There is so much more progress we can make working together. And I reflected on Justin's comments and his speech that we often get pulled into the two polar ends. On the one end, those who say that anything to do with the Treaty of Waitangi is somehow wokeism, which is just wrong. And those at the other end who say that any question about how we interpret the treaty or its meaning for our future is just right-wing ideology. Well, that's wrong too. Actually, what we need is a spirit of debate and discussion and progress, and I believe we will only succeed as a country if we continue to grow our Māori economy and communities, and there is so much more we can do together.
Yeah. And kotahitanga for us, it's not a destination, it's like a takairerangi. It keeps unfurling in a manner that we need to keep going with. Kia ora.
Tēnā kōrua.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou. Ho mai te pakipaki. Kia ora.
Hara mai rā mohi au, it's a sitting week in Parliament. Hara mai tawhiti mo te
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Look, we don't always agree, but we do appreciate you making yourselves available to Tama ki te muru o te ahi and face the fire.
Yep.
And please go with our blessings and return well to Wellington. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe.
Kia ora, thank you. Taking the time, during the time off.
Just a paku FYI, this video was brought to you by Te Rūnanga o Ngaitahu. E mihi ana kia koutou manaaki tiaki nei I o tātou kōrero, and to the main man, Te Heamana, Mr. Justin Tipa. Tēnā koe o tira tēnā koutou. And e te whānau, if you like this content, make sure to heart, like, subscribe, and also share away. Leave us a little bit of a comment. It's awesome. Ngā mihi.